POB, your bestie just sent you a 30-minute long voice message. Hi, besties. It's Bree and Chill. If you don't know what this is, you should go listen to other episodes of mine. I'm Bree. We're chilling. I am sorry that I've been gone for so long, you guys. I've kind of been in a big survival mode. Don't get me wrong, I like the jobs that I have, but I've been so busy. And I feel like this podcast started to feel like a job because of the pressure that I put on myself to post them at a certain time. Like I'm thinking bi-weekly might not be for me yet. And I also feel like doing video a couple episodes in was probably not the best bet. It's just a lot of pressure. I've talked about imposter syndrome before, and I definitely still struggle with it. It's definitely not something I can get over overnight. It's an internal work in progress, and I have to keep working on that. I actually have an episode that I recorded with one of my friends. We did a video version, and I have to edit that, and I have just not been motivated or inspired to do it, and it's nothing against him or our episode. I did have my cats interrupt a bunch, so there's a bunch of points where I had to get up and get them out of stuff because they think when company's here, they can do whatever they want. It's kind of like children. They just do what they want when people are over. They think they're not going to get in trouble. So yeah, I've just been busy and just unmotivated, uninspired. This podcast was not a phase, though. I'm back. But I will be posting that podcast at some other time. But I feel like now is a good time to dive back in because of what season it is. I do want to start off by saying this whole episode might be a big trigger for some people. So, if you don't want to hear about drug addictions or suicidal ideation, you should probably not listen to this episode. I'm going to talk about that kind of stuff today. I don't even know where to begin. It started with me seeing a status on Facebook that somebody had shared from somebody else. That somebody else said, if you think suicide is selfish, you have never been suicidal. And the person that shared it said, if you have kids, you absolutely are selfish. And I'm going to say right now, I am not disagreeing, okay? I'm 100% not disagreeing with that. However, I do want to give you guys a different perspective because having thoughts and ideation are two completely different things. Because there were people in the comments like, oh, well, I just think of my kids and that's it. It goes away. That's not the same, babe. It's not. I'm sorry to tell you. It's not. I hope YouTube and Spotify doesn't take this stuff down or flag it for me talking about this. Nobody's in danger right now. I'm just speaking on my experiences. So about 7 years ago from yesterday, I'm recording this on December 16th. I don't know why that's important. I guess because I'm trying to tell you about the past and when I was really going through it. I had a post that came up in my memories from me landing in LA. And I want to say that was kind of a manic episode to keep myself alive because back then I was in ideation mode really bad. I was trying to not try again. Mind you, my first attempt, I was 17 or 16. I can't remember the exact age. I think it was right before I turned 17. The this is the season. That's part of the reason I wanted to post this. So back 7 years ago, I did my LA thing. That is a whole nother topic. But what led me there was my suicidal ideation. And I wanted to try to keep myself alive. Eventually, I came back to Ohio. All of my problems were waiting for me here. Okay. I have children. Okay. I have 2 children. At that time, their dad and I had split up, and I was going through it. Like, it was not an easy transition. And don't get me wrong, I have never once for a second regretted the split. I really was not happy in that relationship at all. And it takes a lot for somebody to be like, hey, I know we have like everything under the sun that should make a person happy. The house, car, the family, like the whole 9. I still wanted to not be alive. And back then, I didn't really have much of a support system in that area, or really, honestly, a support system at all, especially after I decided to leave, because a lot of the support system was his side of the family. I would speak up about my thoughts to people, and literally people would be like, this better be a joke. Somebody is going to call the cops on you. And, maybe somebody should have called the cops on me. I needed help. Like, and it's crazy because people will always talk about, if you're struggling, reach out. Just reach out. Get some help. But like when somebody's actually having an episode, everybody's so quick to shut the person down and then do that kind of stuff. Like somebody will call the cops, or they'll like just stop talking to them. They'll stop talking to them. They'll block them. And then if the person actually goes and does the thing, it's like, oh, I wish you would have said something. I wish we never knew you felt so alone. Because everybody thinks it only lasts for like a day, or like that somebody's just going through just like a breakup or something. But no, some people in their brain is like fucking sick, dude. Their brain is literally convincing them like they are not worth being here at all. So this is where the fine line between the selfishness comes in. Because like I said, I am not disagreeing that it's selfish, okay? However, when you're in that mode, your brain does not have the capacity to actually think rationally like that. It's kind of in escape mode. So whenever I got back to Ohio, like I said, all my problems were here waiting for me. Sorry if you guys can hear that loud truck going down the road. I think my mics are pretty good at noise canceling, but that was loud. Anyway, when I got back, my problems were waiting. I ended up getting into cahoots with a person that I hope to God she doesn't listen to this, but I got into some cahoots, okay? I attempted, once again, my kids were not with me at this point. They were with their dad and his side of the family. He's got a whole family, okay? A person that gave birth to me did not like me at this point, okay? So I tried to do it again. I attempted, and this attempt I think would have actually like worked. I don't really even know what caused it to. I don't know how graphic I should even get here. It would have worked, but something snapped in me to call 911. I did, and the thing that I was doing actually loosened up. Because for a second it got stuck, and I don't know. It was in that moment something clicked, and I wanted to call myself for help. So I went to the psych ward. I actually had a way more positive experience there than most people there. I also got put into dual diagnosis. Mind you, I am not the person to, I don't do a lot of like crazy drugs like that. When I was in LA, I did try some booger sugar like twice. I can't even believe I'm talking about this on the internet. Whew. But I didn't like it. Back then, I had no idea I was ADHD. I found out back in like 2022 that I was ADHD. And that put it into perspective because I had a lot of people tell me like, oh, it was either bad or like you might just like have problems with ADHD. And that turns out to be the case because what that stuff does is like spikes your dopamine up so fucking high. And for me, it just, my baseline is already so low. It just didn't spike high enough for me to be like, yeah, I got to do this again. I was actually like looking around like, what the fuck? Why is everybody so fucking crazy about this shit? I couldn't understand. And I also grew up with a crackhead stepdad. And I mean it, literal fucking crackhead. So I always just wanted to know what was going on behind people's addictions. I could never understand it. So when I was at the psych ward, I got put in there because 2 days prior to going there, I hit a THC pen. And back then I wasn't using it every day. I had just gotten back from LA and I was jobless at the time. Like I wasn't doing that. And I just remember there was a nurse that was there and she was like looking at me like crazy, dude. She's like, what drugs are you taking? And I'm like, girl, I just had a drug test. That's why I'm in here. Like you can see, I smoked some devil's lettuce and that's what ended me up in dual diagnosis. Otherwise, I would just be in the mental health part. However, I talked to so many people that were in there because like everybody else in there were fucking addicts, okay? And I learned for a lot of people, the same parts of the brain that are active when you're wanting to off yourself or wanting to take a drug that you know is really fucking bad for you. It's the same. It's literally like the escape or dopamine searching. And I also learned people have to like want to stop on their own. Like there's some people in there that I talked to and they really wanted to change their life. There's actually somebody I've been friends with on Facebook ever since then. I've watched him relapse a couple times, but he's like, his shit is together now. And I don't know. It's just cool to see that some people recover. You know, I love to see it. But as far as the ideation goes and how it felt for me, and especially being a mother, it wasn't that I was like, fuck them kids. It was not anything like that. My brain was telling me like, actually, your kids would be better off if you weren't even fucking here. They'd be better off if you were fucking gone. I believed it. That was my mindset. I thought everybody would be fucking better if I was not here. And I don't know. It actually took me to give a shit about myself. I still can't tell you exactly what happened in my head that made me want to stop doing it that night. But I do remember when I went into the bathroom. Dude, I was up until like 4 a.m. that night. I go in the bathroom and look in the mirror and like seeing the evidence that like that shit would have actually worked. I don't know, like it's like a different part inside of me that's like, I cannot fucking believe, like I can't believe I let all these shitty people make me feel this way. It's just insane because people look at people with mental health problems like that and addicts, like completely different. Like you'll see people on Facebook that are getting clean and people are like, I'm so proud of you. But if you tried to take your life instead of taking a drug, it's a lot different. It's like, and now don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people who've told me that they are so fucking glad that I'm here and it didn't work, but it's frowned upon differently. It's really, even though the episodes are the same as addicts, like it's the same things going on in the brain. And I don't know, I just wish more people understood it. And I really wanted to post this episode because I know there's other people out there that feel this way, and especially like having kids. Like I said, I don't think it's not selfish, but it's just at that time my brain couldn't even like, I don't know, I didn't even feel worthy to be these kids' mom. Yeah, and that is, it's a shitty fucking feeling. And especially they like will talk to you in the psych ward about, oh, do you know how much more likely it is that your son would do the same if it would have worked for you? And it's crazy because this girl is like fucking like angry about it, like yelling at me about it. And I'm just in there thinking like, the way you're talking to me is the same way that my supposed support system was talking to me when I was open to them about what was going on inside. So I don't know. I don't know who all is even going to listen to this, but like, if you do have somebody that's like talking about like, they want to yeet themselves off this planet, and like when they're serious about it, take it fucking serious, okay? Now, honestly, even if somebody's like doing that fucking toxic breakup shit, you know, because it was never like that for me. I just literally wanted to fucking not be here. But I know that there's people that will go through breakups and they'll be like, oh, well, if you leave me, I'm gonna off myself. Call the cops on them too. I'm sorry, but like that shit's toxic. Call on them too. But if your friend is telling you that they are like they wanna end it, take them seriously, and instead of yelling at them, maybe help them get help, because I think that would have been a lot more effective than people yelling at me, because the people yelling at me made me feel even more shitty, and I'm like, oh, so I'm kind of right, like you do not give a shit. Yeah, so I would agree that it's selfish, but brains just don't work logically when you're in a state of crises, and it really did take me caring about myself. And honestly, ever since that night, I've never wanted to do it again. I still go through struggle periods. Like I still do have, I got major depressive disorder. So I still have my phases, but I've never gone that far down to where I want to end it all. Like I love my kids. They are enough to now, if I ever have any kind of thoughts like that, and I really don't. I don't have thoughts of it anymore. So it's different. But I hope this helps some people that are going through this, especially because it is the season. Like I said, it was about 7 years ago to this day. Well, 7 years ago as of yesterday that I was in LA trying to not do it. My last actual attempt, I think it was like November of 2019. I don't know. I just stopped wanting to do it. And I just realized it was to escape. That's what I wanted. I wanted to escape all the shitty things. I wanted to escape feeling like shit. And I've learned doing things I like to do And pursuing my passions really helped. I think for a while I was living my life for everybody else. I was the type of person who I wanted to make my parents happy. I wanted to stay out of the way. I wanted to make sure like I wasn't too needy. But unfortunately, like I had needs when I was a kid, and my poor mother, if she listens to this, you did your best, but it fucked me up for a while. And I don't want nobody in the comments being like, oh, well, you can't live in your childhood trauma forever. That's true too. That's true too. But that tells me you don't know shit about how the nervous system or the brain works. I actually got really obsessed with learning how this stuff works ever since, because I was trying to figure out, like, how the fuck do I rewire my brain and my nervous system to not feel that way again. And it's been working. I will say that. Like, it's been working. I am doing so much better these days than I was back then. And like I said, I do have my phases where I'm in depression, but I'll never attempt that shit again. I don't really know where else to go with this. I think that I got it out. I've actually been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks because I've seen those statuses, and I did type out a long thing in the comments, just because I've seen all the comments that are like, I just think of my kids and I snap out of it. Like, that's just thoughts, babe. That's not ideation. Ideation is actually a big fucking mental problem. But yeah, I actually feel a lot better now that I fucking got this stuff out. I don't know. I was nervous to post this. I didn't even post it yet. I'm still recording. But it feels really freeing to have this out of my body. So I feel like I've kind of been like rehearsing the podcast the last couple of weeks, and it's actually been bringing my mood down. If y'all don't know about me, maybe go listen to previous episodes. I'm like really big into law of attraction, not in the woo-woo way, but I do believe your mindset is kind of how your day and your whole life goes. And I think when I'm thinking back to these times where I was really low, it kind of brings my mood down. So I really just wanted to get this out because I feel like it needed to come out and that I need to post it. And I'm going to. But if you're somebody who's in a support system, support your fucking friends and their mental health, okay? I'm not saying you need to like coddle them or baby them, but you should help them get some help. Because really, when I went to the psych ward and I came out, my best friend of like 15 years was apparently worried about me when I was in there. But when I got out, she fucking blocked me. Yeah, so, and it's crazy because this girl would talk about being a mental health advocate and shit. Same for my cousins. They were apparently mental health advocates. They'd post about it, share things on Facebook. And it's like, when I was actually having an episode, I was just like a complete piece of shit. And maybe that's true. But like, maybe you guys should have called the cops like you threatened. Because this stuff is real. And I really don't miss either one of them. Like, I hope if this podcast blows up, this girl don't ever try to come back around, because it's over, girl. It's over. I don't want you back in my life when I'm doing really good, okay? Neither one of you. I don't care if that sounds petty, but anyway, I will work on editing the one video that I had and getting it posted. I would love to keep doing episodes, but this actually didn't go as long as half an hour as I thought. I guess I was like really flowing. But yeah, I want to start posting more. I might not do video every single time, but I will, maybe like hybrid or something, because that was too much pressure. And I feel like when I'm just talking like this, where there's no camera looking at me, it's easier for me. I don't think I'm ready to be completely seen yet. I want to be heard. I hope this helps somebody. And if not, I don't know. If you're going to bully me in the comments, that's fine too. Engagement is engagement, baby. But go listen to my other episodes because they're a lot more positive. Like, this might have been a negative time in my life. It's hard to say because, like, ideation sucks. But after that, I don't know. Piecing my life back together has been a very positive experience. Like, I think I was the only person in that psych ward that had a good experience. I actually wanted to take a break from my phone back then. They took my fucking phone away. I was doing puzzles, sleeping, eating. I was on medication, getting therapy. And then there was also this girl that was like really young. I think she was like 19. She knew damn well when she got out of there, she was going home and gonna go smoke crack with the boyfriend that beat her. So I don't know. I'm a weirdo, I guess. Anyway, go listen to my other episodes if you haven't. Like I said, this is my most vulnerable fucking episode. I didn't think I was going to post this soon into the series, but I know some of my hard times will help other people in hard times. Maybe make some of you guys who have survived wanting to off yourself. I hope you feel less alone. But yeah, my other episodes are not as negative as this. They're not all going to be negative either. The one that I've got to edit is actually a really funny one. I think you guys will like it. But anyway, love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for listening. And I will see you next time. Bye.